Hello, everybody. This is Angelique and Ellen from the Angelique and Ellen Show. Today we're talking about self-discovery. So why don't you just take it away there, Miss Ellen?
Oh, okay, great. It's so great to connect with you again, Angelique, and all those of you who are listening. Um, Today, I felt curious. We're connected, you and I, Angelique, and I'm curious to know more about how you got inspired to further your interest, or how did your interest in self-discovery first come about?
Great question. I absolutely love getting asked that, to be honest with you, just because so many people don't realize that they have to step into their passion and they have to step into themselves and discover self-love and discover themselves. So, back in 2006, I was going through a divorce and I had two young children, and I wanted to discover who I was. So, I then just began a journey of self discovery, and it wasn't until 2013 when I really just took off a whole day and a weekend and went to Atlantic City with my friends and blew off work and everything and just wanted to just be me and figure out who Angelique was. I have always helped people by guiding, leading, and assisting. I have always coached people on how to do something in their jobs, to do something better. And my dad was my softball coach growing up, so I got a lot of coaching skills from him. And I also did some basketball coaching. And all of these things made me want to go to school to better myself and to figure out who I was. So I went to a lot of workshops. I did a lot of meditating, and I just went and I figured out who I was through all these workshops. And it took me years to actually master my own self discovery. And it took me to do a trial run on 30 people that I did it just for free because I didn't think I should charge anything. So I was just doing it as an experiment, and everybody stepped into themselves with my help. Um,
I just want to interrupt. When you said trial run and did it, can you say what it is that you did with 30 people?
Yeah, I just talked to them about self-discovery,
Great.
and I told them, gave them some tips on how to find self-discovery, where then I taught them how to practice mindfulness and figure out that, like, to ask themselves, who am I? And we made a big journal of it. And my main focus was finding their core values and finding their purpose and passion. We talked about their childhood, and we listened to what other people said about each other, and was um, it was very rewarding because I did some personality tests and some challenges to show them that they overcome it, so it wasn't a big struggle. And
Mm, mm.
I wanted them to look at their journey of self discovery so they can use everything they learned as a life map plan. And
One, I just want to interrupt a second. One of the things you said in one of our previous shows was that there isn't anything that you invite someone else to do for themselves that you haven't already done for yourself.
yes,
So I'm presuming that you really are sharing the processes that have been meaningful to you
yes,
along the way. So you actually did this for yourself, either with the help of workshop leaders or on your own through your own meditation, where
yes,
you develop that interest in facilitating or accelerating your own growth, it sounds like.
yeah. I had to know myself and know what to do before asking anybody else to join me. I wanted
Mhm.
to see that everything that I did for myself, I wanted to see if it could be taught and if other people can pick up what I'm putting down.
And it sounds like you found that they are able to pick up.
Yeah,
for themselves.
I help people on a journey of self-discovery with a positive change. I inspire and I empower everybody.
Mm, mm.
That is just me and my nature.
And so I just wanted to share a little bit because in my life it's been uh, it sort of runs along in a parallel way. For me, I use the term self-awareness, and I noticed that in my issues from when I was a kid, uh, something simple like, or seemingly simple, like I had my tonsils out when I was 7. And until then, I was a pretty skinny kid who didn't think much about food, ate what I needed to live. And then I was promised ice cream for my throat after the tonsillectomy, and they only gave me ginger ale and jello. And that's the first time I remember being mad. I mean, really mad. And and I don't know, something clicked around then that over time, food and eating became an issue for me. And then as time went on, I knew that there was something amiss about that, and somehow was paying attention and somehow knew to follow one new thought to another new thought, and had the goal of undoing um, whatever it was I was felt stuck with in a habit and things like that. And then also I went and got help and developed interests once I was in my 20s about, how it is I came to think the thoughts that I was thinking, and limiting ideas and limiting beliefs. And so, like you, it's been an ongoing study for many, many years. So I'm a big fan of facilitating one's growth the way you teach, and being open to expanding, our awareness. I have a teacher who says, when you're focused in meditation, like, there's lots of different kinds of meditation. There's seed meditations where you focus on an idea without thinking to the best of your ability, and to always ask for new information.
Yeah.
So that's some of the kind of sharing I was hoping we would get to do today.
Oh, I absolutely love that. And I love that story because I had my tonsils out at 7 as well.
Are you
And
kidding me?
no, but I got the ice cream.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. Um, they had actually messed up on my surgery, and I remember waking up in the middle of it and asking if I was dead.
Oh, how
And,
amazing is that?
yeah, and then I had to have the surgery again
Huh?
when I was 9.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, because they had messed it up,
Mm, mm,
and I remember waking up this time in the hospital room, seeing all my family around me, and asking if this was heaven because there was big stuffed animals and roses and flowers and everything all in the room. And
mm.
apparently the anesthesia knocked me out for a really long time. They didn't know,
Wow.
they even put some, I don't know what it was, but they put something in to wake me up, and it didn't work. I just wanted to sleep.
No, they wanted to make sure that you didn't wake up during the surgery since the first surgery.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. My
And
goodness. Um, I know this may not seem like it's related, but from what you're saying is reminding me, I don't know if I was about 5 or 4 or 3. I remember waking up one morning in my bed thinking, oh my God, I'm awake. I'm on the earth. Oh my goodness, this is great. So I know we've shared some of our insights into, how it is we're on the planet in these great physical bodies, and managing. I loved what you said about mastering your self-discovery, and mastering our energy is
Yeah.
really, I have a teacher who says that's really what we came to the planet to do.
Yeah.
That we're each a spirit inside these fabulous bodies. And even if your body isn't working as well as you want, I actually heard this, I have no idea if it's true, that we wait for like 2,000 years to get a body. So it's really a useful idea to take care of it and to learn how to take care of it in whatever way resonates with you. So that waking up, and your question about, am I dead? I mean, those are amazing. That's an amazing insight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing the things that you can remember. The things that you, I guess, want to or had a traumatizing experience with.
Mm,
But those are things that I only remember, and I have people only remember happier times
mm-hmm,
of
mm-hmm,
childhood. I mean, they could tell me things that were really traumatic and very negative, but I will figure out the positive solution from that. And so when they remember it, they remember the positivity out of it that I told them and how they grew from that and what they learned. Because I'm all about helping the person know who they are, what motivates them, learning their emotions and their thinking patterns. So
mm.
they can have their own mission statement in life and share their talents with the world.
Oh, I think that's terrific. So one of the things, I have a teacher who has taught us that as we come to understandings, new understandings, that we can actually look back in our lives through the lens of our new understanding. It's the idea of reverse awareness, and we can go back and see even challenging and upsetting situations through new eyes of self-appreciation. And to emphasize what you just said, I'm thinking that at age 7, lots of times there are lots of parents, and maybe a lot of us experience this with the people who brought us up also. Many times adults sort of are not aware that children are living in the moment and hearing and seeing everything and drawing conclusions and making decisions based on that. And here you at 7 had the awareness and even the words to say, am I dead?
Yeah,
And, that's just the flip side of, am I alive? Or is this heaven?
yeah,
And so to know that we as human beings can validate and appreciate that as young people, because a lot of people who are older don't remember much about their childhood, which is fine. And for those who do remember some and want to use that as a springboard for self-discovery and self-appreciation, I mean, there's really great stuff to capitalize on there.
oh, I agree. I agree. I absolutely love to help people because people it's better to have happier people around you than miserable people that complain and bring on the negativity. I like to just be around happiness and positive. And if the people that I'm with are not like that, I leave and go hang out with different people.
Oh, that is great for one's own growth, is to choose people to be with that you want those qualities to be brought out in you. Because just like misery is contagious, upbeat and openness and liveliness and inner freedom and happiness is contagious too. And certainly our world is in the middle of a big shift from lots of misery into a much lighter, more open way of being for individuals. And I hear that as we each grow and free ourselves from our limiting thoughts, like you were saying, and beliefs, that then we're actually making our contribution to a collective growth as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that. It's there's a pattern with everything that gets passed on to each generation, and I just like to break the chain with positivity and greet all the grimaces with a smile and forgive and forget and uh, find love and get rid of the hate.
I think that is such a forward way to set our sights. You know, that what we see, what we focus on expands. So if we focus on positivity, openness, and that possibility, then that will expand. I have a son who, when he was little, his his kindergarten teacher said to me that we each have all the qualities that there are, and so we can learn to play ourselves like a piano and play the notes of the music we would like to hear in our lives, and that it really is a choice between one path and another, one thought and another. And so many of us have been on automatic for so many years that it's a new idea for many people to shift into making a conscious choice, and that we don't have to accept our own automatic, negative behavior and thoughts. If we can slow things down and just notice what our path of thinking is, and we can undo it and redirect it.
Oh, yeah, I agree. There is a huge shift that's happening with new abilities, and it's starting to awaken people. And each of us are intuitive and spiritual, and our souls are all knowing, but we have to reconnect to this knowledge at a higher understanding of how life works and becomes possible. And
Mm, mm,
services such as soul reading or spiritual guidance, like I do, is a doorway to helping uncover your true ethnic self, and everyone
that's
can be very authentic about it.
I think that's an important part, is recognizing the many dimensions that we are, and that there's many levels to our beingness. And one of the things I was able to do last year with a colleague was we did a 5-session webinar series called Spiritual Awakening Journeys. And it's if anyone's interested in that, the Be Happy No Matter What website, it's on there. And what we did was we went through the different levels of ourselves. There's the physical, the etheric, the astral, the mental, the higher mental, and then there's the causal, Buddhic, atmic, and monadic. And so there's no limit to all the different ways, and there's no right way for everyone. Each person has a fitting way for themselves. So when a person starts on the path of self-discovery or gains some self-awareness, they can actually follow their inclinations of their heart as they expose themselves to different books, different audios, different individuals, different coaches, to see where your heart leans and what resonates with you.
I agree.
So,
Yeah,
I love, go ahead.
I just love self-awareness and self-discovery. I just love the
Mhm.
psychology of it and
Mhm.
the mental evaluation of everything.
Mm. And it really does take the edge off of uh, sort of downward thinking, or, I mean, negative is a word, but uh, um, unproductive. I don't know. It's just, you want to keep yourself growing. So one way to do that is to look at all your experiences for what the learning is that you can extract from it. That way, even if it was an awful experience, the way you experienced it, it sort of neutralizes that effect because you've been able to learn. I'm sure that when you, between 2006 and 2013, and when you went off to your retreat, that between 2006 and 2013, whether you were focused on it or not, you were making mental notes about your growth and curiosity, and even feeling like, I don't want to feel this way anymore, or whatever it was, but that you were growing anyway.
Yes, exactly it. I took a lot of mental notes and physical notes because I journal.
Mm.
So I made sure I always had something handy to write down everything. I had my journal, my phone, I was recording everything, and I just did it for me, and I made a workbook out of it.
Oh, isn't that great? Um, Over the years, I've been encouraged to journal, and I poo-pooed it, and I said, "Oh, I'm never going to read it." Blah blah blah. So here's the thing about the journaling, which I realized is the act of writing it down. There's richness in that, whether or not you read it later.
Yep.
And I've noticed that, so that was immaturity on my part. Oh, someone's telling me what to do, or I know better, or I don't want to be bothered. And then a light bulb went off in my head, and I took the pen and I said, oh, wait a minute, I want a record of this. Even if it's, some people are able to do paragraphs and report things into their journal. Some people do one word, a sentence. So it's to be open to see how a tool like journaling could work for you, who's ever listening to this. And I was glad that I matured so I could make use of it.
I agree. Journaling is the best. I do a lot of classes on journaling, and I do a lot of different ideas on how to get people motivated for themselves, not for anything else. They
Right.
themselves, and I just get down to the nitty gritty of what's going on inside them, and I figure out their beliefs and principles so they know, so then they can go into their core and get their values. Like, so there's so much traits and qualities that people have, and they don't even realize that they talk more about their weaknesses than they do their greatest strengths.
Mm.
So I'm always helping with that.
So another one of my teachers has this great phrase, what you think about, you bring about.
Correct. Yeah.
So with self-awareness and the interest in self-discovery, you can listen to what you're saying, listen to one's own expressions, and notice where that energy is going and how it's going, and make that conscious shift.
I agree. People have to make that conscious shift. They have to stop being their own worst enemy. They have to stop lying to themselves about emotions and feelings and start accepting them and allowing themselves to feel whatever it is that they feel. The frequency that we feel within ourselves is just rewarding enough. The universe gives back love, and it's finally justified just to give yourself more love. And people have to learn consciously to just love themselves and stop with the complaining and being their worst enemy.
Well, you know what? The complaining is like, it's being a victim. And many of us have been victims in our lives as kids. And certainly if you're a victim now and you're a person who's being battered. You want to get out. And for those of us where being a victim was years ago, it's possible to go on forward without victim consciousness. And that means no complaining and even no self-judgment, because that's victimizing yourself. So it's to get help, or to focus yourself in your meditation and use everything to help yourself free yourself from victim consciousness. And that is, victim consciousness is contagious. And when you start to listen to people, you're going to hear it. And that's expanding your self-awareness so that you're growing to make a new choice for yourself. And the other thing you said that I want to emphasize is that part about people generally. Many people don't know what there is within themselves to appreciate, often because they're so focused on what's, not working, their view of what's not working. So I wanted to direct people to the Be Happy No Matter What book, which is available on Amazon and Kindle and audio, to chapter 2, which is called Appreciating Me and My Life as a Work of Art. And it's really as a masterpiece work of art. This is my favorite chapter because it leads you to think of yourself as a work of art, which might have dark shadows. It might have deep palette marks. It might have things way in the distance and other things in the foreground, different hues, different tones, different colors. And this chapter can really take you by the hand and give you a tour within yourself of what there is to appreciate. So that's available to anyone who's interested in that.
That is very good to know because I just love that book. It is a very informative book, and I'm so glad that someone wrote it. And I'm glad it was you, and I have you on this call with us that we can actually now help other people, because that book is very inspiring, and it's just amazing. It's just like a really good read. I just want people to read it and give their own opinions on it and how this book helped them, because this book is very informative and will help the masses.
Well, it certainly is a blessing that it came to me and I got the right help to get it together. So I feel like I'm a steward or an airline attendant, ushering information in, as you are, about self-discovery. So does this feel complete today, Angelique, or are there some other things you would like to add before we end for today?
No, I'm good with everything. I just thank everybody for taking time and listening to us just talk about how we can help people with their lives, and just remember how blessed everybody is.
That is the truth. That's that old, I don't know if you came across this and the people who are helping you. I had a therapist who said, Ellen, you need to write down all the things you're grateful for and carry that list around with you. Yeah. And I did it. And it's a good thing because I needed to look at it. And I was able to turn a corner from that victim experience into, oh my God, this is great. And even small things are worth putting on that list. Go ahead.
And no, nothing is ever too small. Anything on that list is great. But yes, I have helped a lot of people with the victim mentality, with helping them with some self-discovery too, and some self-love.
Terrific. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll look forward to connecting with you next time.
Yes, thank you so very much, and tune in next time. Have yourself a blessed day. Peace and blessings. This is Angelique saying goodbye from Angels Friendly Coaching, and please be sure to go see Ellen and get that book.
Be happy no matter what.